So we've seen Alien Romulus now, a movie that I wasn't actually going to see because the trailer made it look like, it looked like it belonged on like Netflix. It was like a Netflix horror movie. And I later found out that this was going to stream on Hulu. So this was going to be like a Disney Plus Hulu movie until 3 months ago. They were like, hey guys, this is actually pretty good. We could probably make real money off this instead of just sending it to the graveyard.
That must be like the strat now, is you put everyone's expectations in the dumps by releasing a dog shit trailer that you think...
But I almost didn't see it.
Well, what's the risk? That's the gamble. If you put everything on black, there's a chance it's going to be red.
Well, it's only an $80 million budget.
Really? Only?
Yeah. I mean, I can kind of see why, because it's 6 people in a bunch of corridors for most of it.
It's like this movie doesn't waste its budget on having like The Rock and Kevin Hart.
And there's a fair amount of CGI, and there's also a ton of practical effects. It's not a flashy movie, but I can look at that and go like, yeah, that's $80 million.
It feels like this movie was slotted in really well. Like for that first 25 minutes, I felt like this movie could have been done using like old, like they went in wanting it to feel old school.
It looked like the original Alien.
It felt that way, like the camera tricks they used and like the very slow pans and like just like the practical kind of sets that they were using and the tech felt real good.
I'll have to double check if it was shot on film, but whatever film emulation they did, it looked exactly like the original movie. Like it just felt grungy and gritty, just like the original Alien.
Grungy and gritty.
I didn't love everything about it. I think you're a lot more positive on it than me. So we'll start getting into the movie. So this movie is basically about a young girl and a bunch of her young friends and her autistic robot brother.
It's Rain Man, except for Rain Man fuses with Tom Cruise's character and then separates back into Rain Man towards the end.
He cures his autism for a minute there. This is the most slasher movie, I feel like. This was much more of like an 80s slasher.
That's kind of what Alien was. Alien is a part of that 80s like slasher flick themed.
Maybe this just felt more like it because it was a bunch of teenagers.
Well, it's like the Xenomorph itself is up there with Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, Ghostface. Like it's like it could be anywhere. It's a horror movie. It's a presence. Mike Myers, you know. It's like, it almost feels like a supernatural presence.
Yeah, it just felt more like it than the original movies and anything preceding it, just because they were so young. Like they were making more dumb mistakes. I guess that's the main difference of this movie. It's what if all 4 Alien movies happened to a young group of people?
And I did feel that. I felt like it was an amalgamation, or like they took a little bit of story beats from each of the movies. It was interesting.
It was almost in parts too. Like it was almost chronological. Like the first half an hour is one.
Yeah, it starts on a ship, and then there's some colonial marine stuff that happens, and then there's some doing it for a mission. We need this subject for the company, and then it becomes amalgamation, like body horror. So it really felt like all the Alien movies, plus with a little bit of sprinkling of are they the prequel, like duology, like
the Prometheus
and Covenant.
It didn't go too heavy into the Prometheus movies, which was good. Like
it was just like a little, like a bit of this. They Salt Bay sprinkled it.
It wasn't too lore heavy, which is the problem with a lot of like I did not like Alien Covenant. Like I got so bored in that movie.
You didn't like where Michael Fassbender teaches Michael Fassbender how to play the flute, and then he says, "Excellent fingering."
He does say that
or something like that.
No, it's something fucked up.
Watch me. I'll do the fingering.
Okay, so this movie, we have our mining colony teen main character, Scream Queen final girl.
Dead parents, so she could be a Disney princess.
Dead parents. She's finally eligible to get off world, but she has to do one final job before she can get there. So her and her ragtag group of British teens...
They were.
They were all, hello, governor. Where's Stephen? They got to do one final job so they can get off world. They have to go onto an abandoned space station that's in orbit and steal a cryopod machine thing and put it onto their ship so that they can go 9 years away so they can finally get to a livable planet and live in freedom. And that's your basic plot of the movie. Aliens ensue.
Yeah, that's their driving force as to why they go onto this creepy alien ship. And they tie it into the first Alien movie because the ship they go to has the alien on it from
in the very start of the movie. The Weyland-Yutani company goes to the exploded wreckage of the Nostromo, and they find the alien encased in carbonite,
frozen. Yeah, I did really enjoy the opening to the movie.
It was good
because it felt very like original Alien.
Yes.
I don't want to judge it based on like how much it tickled my nostalgia titties.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
And it did. This was, I said it to Dan, this feels like an Alien movie. An honorable spiritual successor / insert.
Yeah, because it's not a reboot.
It's not even a spiritual successor because
Because it kind of continues the continuity.
It's just a movie in the franchise. That's probably the closest we have is the new Halloween movies because it was an old franchise. They've all tried to do it, I think, like the new Scream movies.
Oh yeah, probably Scream.
Those are trying to continue on. This one slotted itself in the middle without ruining what came before and rewriting stuff in the future.
Well, yeah, because it kind of borrows from all the Alien movies, like Alien 1, Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, and Alien. Please subscribe to the channel for more videos.
So they all go onto the ship to get the cryopods and some fuel reserves for the cryopods when they release, I think it said 36 facehuggers onto the ship.
That's a lot. There's not even a jump scare until like the 40th minute. Like it is a very slow movie while they're doing their alien portion of it. But once they get into aliens, then it definitely kicks off a lot more.
It felt quick though. This didn't feel like a 2-hour, 10-minute movie.
I don't know. I think it felt how long it was for me. It didn't drag like Borderlands, but it didn't just fly by like Deadpool. It felt the amount of movie that it was, which is not a bad thing by any means. I think they might have gone a little overboard cramming in the aliens section. Like 36 facehuggers, like that's a lot. I felt more tension when there was one facehugger in the water than there was with all of the facehuggers.
Yeah, it makes it feel a bit goofy because one is a threat, but when you have a hive of them, it's like we're all gunning them down.
Yes, it turns into an action movie rather than your horror movie.
Whereas if that scene in like the cryo room was done with one facehugger, it would be more suspenseful and horror. Whereas it turned kind of actiony, where they were like, he's like batting them out of the sky. It felt kind of like Alien Requiem, like levels of kind of like that had like a bit of goof. And
that was 3 or 4.
Alien vs Predator Requiem. That's the second Alien vs Predator movie.
Yes. Gross.
You're thinking of Alien Resurrection, which is the 4th one. The guy in this movie was like, he had like a big taser bat and he was like batting them away, and like you could just like pull them off really easily, and like none of them could like suction cup, because if every facehugger had a 100% success rate, then it would like defeat the purpose of the movie. So because there was lots of them and there was lots of people in the room, you had to.
Only one is successful, really.
Yes, like, and it's not, but no one that was in that room got, I mean, technically kind of, but wasn't successful in planting an embryo.
The other bit I didn't love so much is a bit later on. Basically, out of nowhere, there's suddenly like 10 or so aliens that are actually like fully grown. So we go from like one tense alien, and I'm like, okay, so we're bringing it back to the bare bones movie. We're doing what we can. But then out of nowhere almost, they're just like, they show this hallway where we're suddenly in full aliens mode and they're all crawling down, and she's just blitzkrieging all of them.
Yeah.
And she just massacres all of them, which gets to the weird like Mission Impossible. She has to dodge all the blood in zero gravity. This was structured a lot like a video game for me. Like they do their intro, they get aboard the ship, and then they get the cryopods almost immediately. Like that was easy.
Yeah.
And then he's like, damn, we only have 3 years worth of cryo fuel. We need 9 years.
Yeah.
But there's a cryo tank down this scary hallway. So then they go all the way there, they accomplish that mission, and then something else happens. It's like, it snowballs quite well. I think to add to the tension, because from the get-go, they have 36 hours to get the pods before the whole space station crashes into the ice rings of the planet, which is also a very cool effect later on. But then during the first alien commotion, something happens, and then they suddenly have their time cut down to like 5 hours. So like it gets cut down massively. So it's like they do raise the tension really well throughout the movie. I just wish they didn't have to resort to, a bunch of aliens. But that might just be me. You might have been very happy seeing all of the aliens because your favorite's Aliens, right?
I like
Alien 2 is your favorite?
I think everybody's favorite is Aliens, man. No one likes Alien 3, and Alien 1 is very slow to get into.
Alien 1 is very slow, but so is this. This is a 40-minute intro to the movie.
Alien 4 is beautiful, but a bit goofy. But Ron Perlman's in it, so I love it.
The first jump scare in this movie is 40 minutes in, and it's not even an alien jump scare. It's just a robot jump scare.
Very true. Ooh. I'm still shivering.
That alien jump scare is by Rook, who they don't super show to begin with, but then they show a lot for a very long time, and it is not good.
I didn't think it was going to be Rook. I thought it was, I'm like,
Bishop?
oh, it's going to be Bishop or it's going to be like another version of Andy, and she's going to pull his head up, and she's going to think it's Andy or something.
The only two names I can remember are Andy and Rain.
Yeah.
Like the two leads, basically.
It was really hard to hear names in this, and I don't know if it was because like a mixture of like the sound production and also their accents being really heavy and panicked.
Yeah.
But it's like, and I'm like, huh?
They thankfully, a lot of the time, instead of saying names, they'll say, my brother.
Yeah.
Another reason this felt like a slasher movie to me is, do you know, in the original Alien, they don't all really have massive archetypes. And then even in Aliens, you've got your butch chick that isn't played by Michelle Rodriguez, but probably would be 10 years later.
Talking about Diaz?
Diaz.
That's one tough chick.
You have the cool guy. You have the innocent girl. You have the bad girl. You've got the absolute douchebag jock that you want to die immediately. And he does die pretty satisfactorily.
But he's likable, though. I think he's likable.
You think the douchebag jock is likable?
I thought he was likable. Maybe I see myself in him a little bit.
You big douchebag jock.
Cram it, nerd. Before I fry your guts.
Oh.
But he sure did electrify that space ussy.
Yeah, there's the whole thing about...
I was like, get away from it!
There's this big thing about how the Alien movies are a big phallic.
They really... I think this one went
This was
more than
vagina.
anything. Well, there was also phallic as well.
That one image of the nest when he cocoons to get bigger. It was a
I'm
big
sorry.
space ussy.
I was like... Luckily, my popcorn was on my lap.
And then the giant phallic, like the head of the alien comes out, like it was egregious. And I'm just like, why?
H.R. Geiger got an erection in his grave.
After the water scene, we've got our first victim, who is the bad girl pilot, basically.
Yeah.
Gets herself face hugged. And conveniently 10 minutes before that, she found the X-ray
The
machine.
X-ray machine.
And uses
the
it. She's like,
trailer,
"Oh, good."
the trailer machine. When I first saw the trailer, I was like, oh, I've seen everything. I've seen every part of this movie.
I think you did.
We did, but the good thing is I stayed away from it long enough where the only thing I remembered, because it was effective, was that trailer scene.
Yes.
So I remembered, I'm like, okay, she's going to die because she does that. And you see, I'm like, no one survives that.
Yeah, they show her die in the trailer. I'm like, that's a bit much.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, okay, fine. Like, I knew she wasn't going to be our final girl, but come on. Like, you in the horror, like, don't show people dying because
Yeah.
then it kind of takes away the suspense.
I don't even think the Scream trailers are dumb enough to be like, this character dies. Like, no suspense for you.
Also, I hated the scream she did because it sounded really it sounded like they made it in a computer program.
Yeah, there's like a
didn't
big
sound
pause
real.
before it, and then she screams.
Whereas when you hear the girl from X or Pearl,
She got a scream
can
on it?
scream. So, yeah, the pilot gets back to the ship. She puts the X-ray machine behind her, and then a big subscribe button bursts out of her chest.
Horrifying. I can't remember. Do the aliens normally hatch this quickly?
This movie definitely showed, I think, the quickest evolution from like baby Xenomorph to like full Xenomorph. Because even the original one, it bursts out of the guy's chest, and then they're doing busy work around the ship before you
Yeah, they're trying to
see
catch
the
it.
Xenomorph.
Because they're like, oh, it's the size of a cat. We can get that. We can kill that.
It feels like the span of when they're like, we have 45 minutes before we crash, and we have 40 minutes left. It's a full-fledged. So maybe people would write that off being like, oh, it's because they tampered with it. And you put like the
Yes.
DNA stuff in it.
It's alluded to, but confirmed by the trivia on IMDb, that they're all clones of the original Alien from the movie Alien, because they catch that one at the start of the movie. So everything in the movie is a clone of that one.
Yeah.
So maybe, yeah, some accelerated growth serum or something.
I feel like the Xenomorph has to like consume to like get body mass. It gains a lot of biomass very quickly without having to feed. Like you would think it was like a caterpillar.
Yeah.
Where it ate cocoons and then it comes out, but
Very hungry alien.
It just becomes a little wall vagina, and then a full alien comes out within the span of 5 minutes.
Yeah, easily.
Because the chest burst happens, she crashes the ship, and then like we have 45 minutes, and then they say we have 40 minutes, and by that point the other ship has already crashed in.
Yeah, because basically she gets it on her face. They figure out how to get it off, so it hasn't even been on her for 5 minutes. Like, they do that quick.
Yeah.
And then in the next 5 minutes, she gets to the ship, it pops out.
Also, it goes from face hugger to bursting out of chest the quickest we've seen. Because usually it's like a bit of a tension builder is, I know that there's something inside of you. Even in Alien 4 is like, it's like someone has a chest burster and then for like ages. The scientist guy with the nerdy guy has one on him for ages and he doesn't burst for a while.
It's the zombie thing where it's like a ticking time bomb. There's no real ticking time bomb in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead, it's just like we've got to get to the.
We need this to happen so that we can progress the movie, kind of. So it's like a bit like weird, but people, we can just write it off as the Promethean accelerant.
It's probably a bit nitpicky that my alien murder movie moves too quickly.
Yeah,
they get to the slash
it became the Xenomorph too quickly. But it's fine because they fill in everything else with like other stuff where we don't need that middle bit of tracking it down.
I think there's more relationships between the characters in this one too. Like, because instead of tension, they can swap it to character tension, where you've got like the lead girl is semi in love with the guy, and the guy's sister is pregnant, and then the pilot and the other guy are dating, which again is more like slasher film. Everyone's interrelated.
I could have done with a lot more familial anger and bonding.
More tension.
Needed a bit more.
Yeah, I don't feel like they pushed the tension as much as they probably could have, but maybe that's because they did want to progress it.
Well, did you realize no one asked about English guy and Asian girl? Like when the sister was there,
was no time.
They asked about the sister, and yeah, there was no time, but those characters disappeared forever.
Oh yeah, they don't even know about the Chestburster.
Yes.
They don't know how that happened.
And they don't know that the guy died on the ship. Those characters disappeared forever.
They lasted about an hour.
Unless there was some dialogue that I missed. But anyway,
Possibly.
They crashed the ship into the other ship, and they're like, we need to get there stat so we can escape.
Yes, that's the next objective, is they get told by Rook that there's the super special Prometheus jizz in a vial, and the Wayland Utani Corporation wants it. If you get this onto your ship, I'll release your ship.
Yeah.
And then they try to do that and end up shooting a bunch of aliens in the process. Oh, did we mention that Andy forgets he has autism for a bit there? He gets an upgrade. They say autism isn't a disability, but this character is very specifically shown as neurodivergent with like epilepsy fits, basically. And that's his main character trait.
He goes from having very sad puppy dog eyes the whole first 30 minutes of the movie, and then when he gets the upgrade,
That's because he's upgraded.
It was a good touch.
It's weird to say that they fixed his autism with an upgrade.
He got an upgrade.
Like, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at the upgrading a robot. It's just maybe it's the way.
Why couldn't
Which
they
is why it felt like a slasher. Her brother had autism, and that was his character trait for the movie. I don't know. And then like he became a savant halfway through.
Yes.
It's just an odd thing to happen. It's probably not a problem.
Just make him like repeat like the last word of all of his sentences. Like make him
forgetful.
Make him forgetful. Make him like repeat himself. Make his servos like mess up every now and again. And then the upgrade fixes him. He mentions that like upgrades his firmware and his like motor reflexes and stuff. Literally just make him be like, you know, like, can I tell you a joke? Like, you know, make him do robot-y malfunctiony stuff. And then he stops doing that trait once he gets upgraded, and we're the first ones to notice. That's how it should have been done.
Use it as an actual thing.
He's not autistic anymore.
Yeah, make that be our clue to his prime directive might have changed or whatever.
Yeah.
Which also doesn't really come into it. I kind of thought that would be like the moment, basically his prime directive gets changed from do what's best for Rain to do what's best for the company. And I thought it would be like he would have an internal struggle of like between his things, like, oh, do I save the company?
New programming.
And it would be like, yeah, he goes Hulk mode when he saves his sister or something. But making him autistic seemed like a way to like get us to like him.
It's because you feel bad for him.
Which is again is a weird thing to be like, you feel sorry for autistic people, don't you?
No.
I have it.
I envy them.
This is a weird conversation. I don't know. Like, again, it's probably not a problem. It's just a little strange.
Yeah, it was an interesting choice.
Then we go into the fourth movie. This bit of the movie had more fun for me, I think, because it was more body horror. Because I was thinking the whole movie, this isn't a bad movie, but it doesn't really bring anything to the franchise.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, they're just doing your basic stock standard cookie cutter alien movie.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that's okay if it's the first one they're going to do.
Yeah, I think at that point I was thinking like, yeah, you don't really need to go see this, but if you want something to watch, you can watch it. But they're changing Alien 4, which is kind of weird for a lot of the movie where she's like trying to escape using acid blood and stuff, like kind of weird. Instead, they've kind of morphed that into her having the baby because Anya Corazon is pregnant the whole movie. We know this. And then as soon as she injects herself to save herself with the Promethean jizz.
Yes.
And as soon as that happens, it's like, oh, that baby's going to be fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, you know it's coming, but they do it so well because you're not expecting how fucked up that baby is going to be.
Yes.
And then this thing It's
It's-
nightmare fuel.
It was creepy. It was fucking creepy. Good
Yeah.
job, whoever was the designer of that, the
Whoever
creature
drew that.
designer. I'm gonna do like a deep dive after this and like Google it and like watch theory videos and stuff. I can't wait. But this thing was terrifying. It was essentially what I think the movie was going for. Is it's the final stage in human evolution, because that's what Rook talks about. He goes, humans, for being the ultimate life form, you can die so easily. So we made this to accelerate the process. So it's like has what looks like it has like a hard exoskeleton and can heal itself, and
Yeah.
it has a tail and can breathe maybe through like pipes in its back, and like a strong long head and like a tongue. It can eat like blood.
It
and
has
flesh.
a tiny mouth. Functionally, it's half Promethean, half Xenomorph. And there's the super creepy bit where it goes to like feed on its mum.
I thought it was gonna breastfeed from her,
I think they should have.
because I thought she
Not
was.
from a weird point
I
of view.
thought she was lactating.
She was.
Yes. So I'm like, it's gonna like sniff her, and then Rain's gonna turn the corner, and it's gonna be feeding from her, and the girl's gonna be like, "Kill me."
I guess it could have been, but it kind of looked like it was sucking
kinda
on
just
her
looked like it
neck
was sucking
at
on
the
her
end
neck.
there. Yeah. But that was part of the body horror for me. I was just like, oh, this is really
The
fucked
creature
up.
itself was horrifying when it was on all fours at the start, and then when it went on like on two legs and started like morphing its body, creepy. Its head like shape changed, terrifying.
Yeah, that bit of the movie locked me in a lot more than the rest of the movie. That was where the tension actually kicked in for me, which was good.
Yeah.
And then she had a little boss battle with that, where she had to flick the 4 switches, which is, again,
That was
it felt
very-
like the video game.
Yeah, that felt very like Alien, because like Ripley had to like set the self-destruct on the Nostromo
Yeah,
to like blow
but
it
just
up.
the fact
and
this
then-
is 4 switches,
Yeah.
it was very much like, to me, like, that's a video game. You got to sneak around from the alien world doing these things. But the final fight's pretty good, and I think it really closes off the movie
How
quite
about
well.
that final jump scare? Scared the shit out of me.
The final jump scare is like with spoilers, POV, like we're in her head, like it's alien
In
isolation.
the vacuum of space.
And then jump scare where he just is there, like the alien's just there, which again is an odd choice because it looked a little funky because we're not used to being inside someone's head as
Yeah.
POV through a helmet. And I'm sure if you put that up against alien isolation, there's probably like the perfect mirror there. But it tied the movie up really nicely and left me feeling like I liked it a lot more, because I think during the midpoint, I'm just like, okay, we're doing Alien still. Like, it's an Alien movie. I'm not shocked by this. But maybe I was just expecting... I shouldn't have expected more. But I think I was just like, what does this add to the
Yeah.
franchise? And I still kind of don't think it added too much to the franchise.
No.
Like, you don't have to see this
I
one.
think it was the perfect like spin-off movie, like spin-off once-off that uses the universe and like everything. It uses the universe to create its own story, and then it wraps itself up perfectly.
Yeah, I think
And nothing has to come from this movie.
they'll do a sequel. This might bring in new fans because it's not really doing anything wrong. It's doing everything right within its world, and it's bringing everything together. So it might be a good jumping on point for people, and they don't go too lore heavy, we said that, but it was a kind of slow first 40 minutes, depending on what people are into.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a shocker to people who are used to like, oh, I have a climax every 30 minutes, like
What's your sex life like?
I wish. Like I need something. I need stimulation. I need like an action scene in the start. I need this, that.
Yeah.
I need my Deadpool opening montage.
It's definitely not a normal Hollywood movie of today.
Yes, and that's why it feels perfect, because it's like they weren't afraid to just make it feel like an old movie, do like a real slow style, slow burn. And it felt great. And what I felt was so good about this movie, and going back, I think you can kind of feel this about any of the movies in the Alien franchise. I feel like this movie you could watch with no sound, nothing, and it would be the
I
exact
still think
same
you need
movie.
music.
I don't know. I don't think so. I
it.
think you could watch this movie with no dialogue, no music, nothing. You wouldn't miss anything. Everything, you'd still be just as scared.
Well, there's also no important dialogue.
I know, but you'd understand. And that's what's perfect, is you didn't necessarily get like, well, that's the exposition dump. Yes, Rook came alive and was telling them about stuff, and you found stuff out with them. But nothing necessarily felt like an exposition dump.
That's what I mean,
Which
not
is good.
lore
So that's
heavy.
why I think you could watch this movie with the sound off, and everything is acted perfectly and is shot really well.
Even down to the text at the very beginning, I was like, this is a late 70s movie. Like the little text jitter. So they emulated it, and you probably could watch this along with all the 4 Alien movies and not really notice a difference. It doesn't have like the weird shine,
Yeah.
the weird glisten that Alien Covenant had, and you're not doing weird flashbacks to like utopian Wayland.
Get him out of here.
Just like playing the piano.
Get him out of here.
Good movie. I still don't think you need to see it at the movies, to be honest. The soundscape's quite nice though, like hearing everything in the ship.
Hearing everything, and then when it cuts to those like outside the ship or in space, where it's like
Dead silent.
Dead silent. That's
Is
pretty
that because
cool.
in space no one can see you scream, hear you scream?
In space, you can't scream. I think this movie was really good. I think it was honestly, if it wasn't released in this window, it would have been the best movie of the last couple of months.
That's fair.
I still have to give all my brownie points to Deadpool Wolverine because I love that movie. But this movie was really good. I'd honestly give this movie like an 8.5. I really like this movie.
I'd probably still give it like a 7 or 8. It's quite good.
I really like this movie.
Don't trust the trailer. The trailer is bad.
Yeah, don't. Just go and watch it. Tell us what you thought about it. Tell us what your favorite alien movie is. And subscribe to the channel.
Bye. Have a beautiful time.